Hello everyone, today I'm going to do review of the Samsung Galaxy A21. I purchased this phone on eBay. I paid $80 and it came with a year of service on TracFone. If you want more info about that, please watch the unboxing video. I'm going to post that in the description. Now let's talk about the phone. First thing first, let's go over the outside. Now we have a 6.5-inch screen, which I will talk about a little bit later in the video. But on the bottom, we have the USB-C, we have the speaker grill, and we have a headphone jack. So that's nice. It does come with the 3.5mm headphone jack. On the left side, we have the SD expansion slot and SIM card slot. So that's 2 in 1. We have the microphone on top. And on the right side, we have the power button and we have the volume rockers. They're not textured, so it's all plasticky. The whole build on the phone is plastic. Now on the back of the phone, we have 4 cameras, we have the flash. I'll talk about the cameras a little bit later, and we also have a fingerprint scanner. And the whole build, as I mentioned, it's plastic. The back is very shiny and it leaves fingerprints like crazy. So I definitely recommend the case. I got this free with the phone. And another reason I recommend the case is because the cameras really you can see they really stick out, so if you end up dropping the phone, cameras will probably smash. Once you put the case, the cameras won't get damaged if you end up dropping the phone. Now let's talk about the specs. Inside the phone, we have a MediaTek Helio P35 CPU, 3 GB of RAM, 32 GB of storage, which is expandable by microSD slot, and we also have 4000 mAh battery. Now the screen is 6.5 inches. It is a 720p resolution. Now there's good and bad things about 720p resolution. Good thing about it is it gives you better battery life. Bad thing about it is it's a 720p resolution. So it has less pixels, and since it's such a large phone, you can sometimes see those pixels depending what you're looking at, and on some games it can be noticeable. Now on this phone, it's, for me at least, it's not a big thing. I'm used to having budget phones. Now for example, if you're using a Note or a newer Samsung Galaxy, a newer iPhone, you're definitely going to see the difference, you know, with this screen. But it makes sense. It's you know, different price range of money, of course. Let's talk about day-to-day usage of this phone. As I mentioned, I've been using it for a month, so I've been playing with it every single day. Now, this phone came with an Android 10.0, and after a couple days, I did receive the update to Android 11.0. Now, overall, this phone was very snappy and smooth, at least for me, for whatever I used it for. I did a lot of browsing, and I haven't had any issues with it. I would use it for web browsing. I would check out the game, check out the scores, no issues. I would open up a YouTube, I would do Pandora, I would do stuff like that, and it would just open up. It was pretty snappy, hasn't lagged, none of the apps froze on me or anything like that. I also played a lot of games and stuff like that, and honestly, it was pretty snappy. I've read a few reviews where they said the performance wasn't that good. For me, it was pretty good. I would, as you guys can see, the apps would open. It's not as fast as Lightning, but keeping in mind it is a budget phone, everything did work as it should. Now, when I did unboxing, I showed you which apps it came with. It did come with apps like Facebook and a lot of games. It came with Uber Eats and apps like that. I was able to remove most of those apps, and now let me show you guys. There isn't that many apps. This is the apps like, for example, Pandora, Alberson, FIFA, which I download, but other than that, it doesn't have any extra apps. And even Samsung didn't include a bunch of their own apps. There was a couple apps like OneDrive Office I couldn't remove, but other than that, it was very clean removal of those, you know, bloatware apps. Now let's talk about the cameras. On front, you have a hole punch 30 megapixel camera, which takes decent pictures. It's very good for video chatting and stuff like that. I took a couple selfies. It's not as good as my iPhone, but it does the job. Now on the back of the phone, you have 4 cameras. Now that seems quite a lot. But let's go over the cameras. Now we have the main one is 16.1 megapixel, 1.8 aperture. And then you have 8 megapixel, a 2.2 ultra wide. And then on the third one is 2 megapixel macro camera. And then you have another 2 megapixel depth sensor camera. Now, I tested the cameras. I took some pictures. I took a couple videos. The main one, I would say the main one, and even the secondary takes decent pictures. You gotta keep in mind this is a budget phone, but compared to the other budget phones I've reviewed, this is pretty decent camera. And especially if you have a good lighting. If you have a good lighting, it's gonna take decent pictures. If you have bad lighting, the pictures aren't gonna come out that good, considering it is a budget phone. But overall, I was happy with the cameras. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is a fingerprint sensor. It's located on the back, and if you guys watch my reviews, you know that's my favorite spot where I like my fingerprint sensor. The reason is if you have it in the pocket or in the bag, your finger kind of immediately goes to it, and it works really good. The next thing I want to talk about is the battery life. It's 4,000 milliamps, and when you combine that with the 720p resolution, it's going to give you a very good battery life. Now, I would use the phone throughout the day, and I would get about 2 days of battery life. If I would use the phone to play games nonstop and watch videos, I would get about 6 hours of phone screen time. But honestly, I haven't used that for 6 hours nonstop, so I would use it throughout the day and the next day, and I will have to charge it every 2 days. And the good thing about it is it has a USB-C, so it comes with the Samsung fast charging charger, and it charges in under 2 hours from empty to full, and that's pretty good. The sound on this phone was very nice. I really enjoyed it. I would listen to music pretty much every single night. And let me play you a clip of some free beats so you guys can hear the sound. Let me just fast forward this. Now, even though this phone only has one speaker on the bottom, the sound was very, very good. Now, the bad thing about having one speaker is, for example, if you're playing games or if you place your hand on the bottom, it's gonna mute sound quite a lot. That happened to me often when I was playing games. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the gaming. I did play quite a few games. I had them removed to save some space because I was downloading something else. But
EA Sports, it's in the game.
This is the one game I played recently, and I really enjoyed it. So I wanted to show you guys how smooth it plays. Now you guys can see how my hand is muting the sound. That's one of the things I didn't enjoy about it, but oh wow. Now that was just me playing a little bit of FIFA. I did play shooter games, I did play Call of Duty, I played a couple racing game. Everything I threw at it did play fine. I haven't experienced any lag. It was stutter a little bit while playing Call of Duty, but nothing that would take away from having fun in the game. Now, in conclusion, this is a pretty good phone. I would recommend that definitely if you can get it under $100. Now, you can use this phone on your actual plan or you can use it on Wi-Fi. If you do end up using it on Wi-Fi, I do recommend getting it for prepaid service, like for example, Cricket or TracFone. If you do end up choosing the TracFone, on eBay has amazing deals that ship directly from TracFone company. And as I mentioned, I received this phone, I received a case, and I received a car charger and 1 year of service plan for $80 plus tax, which was an amazing deal. Overall, I'm very happy with the phone. I'm probably going to keep it at least for a couple more months to use for playing games and playing music at night, or doing some browsing when my main phone is on the charger. Now, if you guys have any questions, leave them in comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.